We are here, Carolyn Smith and Kelly Bowling, to talk to you about the market today. This is another great episode of our Contracts and Cosmos. We hope you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, Coastal Estate Team, and we'd love to hear from you, so email us at coastalestateteam@gmail.com. So we are supposed to be in EGAD today. That did not work out, so we're going to be doing that episode on another day, but we will bring you EGAD, and that'll be fun. But today we thought we'd talk about the market because it's really nuts, right, Kelly?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No inventory.
No inventory, no homes, no condos, no townhouses. Everything that comes to the market sells right away, even when they're priced high, and we're getting a lot of offers coming in on properties. So you might be wondering, well, why is this happening? It's a bubble. It's this is not, I should just wait. Well, I don't think that's the case. Kelly doesn't think that's the case. No, that's not what's going on in our market. We are, many years ago, I rode with a very smart person in my car, and he's like, this is going to become like what Silicon Valley is in California because of the aerospace industry and the space. That's going to change. And this was before any of this happened. And he predicted it, and really it's coming true. And if you think about it, people always mankind wants to look for the next frontier. That's why we love Star Wars and Star Trek and all that stuff. And so people are really moving forward with the space, and it's headquartered here. And the reason for that is that there's two amazing places to launch rockets from in the world, and one is right here, Cape Canaveral, and the other is in Russia. So this is not going to change, and you're seeing all these aerospace companies coming in, and it's sort of all centered here. So we don't think that there's going to be a dip in the market for quite a long time. So if you are looking to purchase, you need to be purchasing now, because the best time to purchase is today. It's not in a month, it's not in 6 months, it's not in a year. So we wanted to talk a little bit about finding your property. Sorry, we have notes today. Finding your property. So I'm going to talk about that, and then Kelly's going to talk about securing the property. So you need to move quickly. If you see a property you like, you need to be going to look at it right away. If you are not here, your agent or us, because we're happy to do it, we will go video the property for you. You need to make an offer without seeing it in that case. If you're at work and you can't go see it, we will video the property for you. Make the offer. That's the most important thing, and do it quickly. You have to compromise a little bit. So what are your needs and what are your wants? Yes, the things you need, we need to definitely make sure those happen. But maybe your wants, you really wanted no carpet. Well, if it has carpet, you'll have to take that out and deal with that later. You really wanted an updated kitchen. Maybe you can't have that right now, but it's something you can do later. If you need 4 bedrooms, that's a need. You need 4 bedrooms. You don't want to be doing an addition later. So determine what are the needs, what are the wants, focus on the needs, compromise on the wants. And the last thing, and this is something that we've been seeing, and Kelly actually has seen it lately, is, where people say, well, it costs this much to renovate it or do things to make it what I want. So I'm going to determine what that cost is, and I'm going to deduct that from the market price, from the list price. You can't do that. You cannot deduct what you want to do to the property and take that off the list price, because it's already been adjusted. The list price should be approximately market value. That's not to say that some properties aren't priced higher, but in general, the list price is market value based on the condition of the property. So now Kelly is going to talk about securing the property, how to go about making an offer.
Yes. So first thing, you need to move fast. That means you need to be armed and ready with your pre-approval letter if you're going to be financing the property, or with a document on file somewhere that you have proof of funds if you're paying cash. In addition, that means you need to go see the property the day it hits the market. If you're not here, like Carolyn said, or if you're stuck working and you have long hours and you can't get out of work, let us go. We'll FaceTime you. We can just video and send you the video if you're not able to FaceTime. Or if we're sometimes in condos, the reception's not great. So we have no choice but to just do a video showing, and then upload the video to you later on. And you're going to have to move quickly on it. You may not be able to set foot in the property before you write an offer. But that doesn't mean that if you can't make arrangements to go see it after the fact, once you're under contract, and then you haven't wasted any time. So you have to be prepared to be able to do that. You also have to assume that there are already going to be multiple offers coming in on the property. So don't try to get a deal. Essentially, what you want to ask yourself is, what's the most amount of money that I'm willing to pay for this property? And know that if it goes for $5 more than that, that you're not going to be upset that I would have paid that if I had known. Just make an offer for what your best offer is actually going to be, And this is not a market where you're going to get a great deal. I mean, I would say a majority of the properties are going, 98 to 100%, if not over list price. So just understand that. And then some other things you can do to make your offer a little bit more attractive would be to reduce the number of days that you're going to have for an inspection period. Instead of the 15 that's built into the contract, shorten it to 7 if you can, or 10. And you want your agent to be reaching out to their trusted home inspectors and finding out what their timeline is to make sure that they can accommodate that timeline. I know I always do that. I know Carolyn does that as well. So
we try and hold the inspection. So when you're placing an offer, we hold an inspection slot for you so that we can fit it in that time frame. We don't wait until the offer is accepted.
Right. And then some other things that you might want to do is to put an offer in with an escalation clause. Maybe you're not comfortable telling them, like, right off the bat, I'm going to pay $10,000 over listing price, but you can make an offer for list price and then do an escalation clause that you're willing to go $1,000 over, the best offer that comes in up to a certain dollar amount. We're seeing a lot more of those in today's market. And I mean, those are not the norm.
They're becoming the norm now.
They are.
And so it's a bona fide offer, and you get a copy of the offer that they're asking you to go above. So, I mean, with identifying information blacked out, but that there's another offer, and it's unethical for an agent to tell you there's an offer that there's not. An agent is not going to do that. So you can be secure in knowing that when you do an escalation clause. But be aware that a lot of people are doing escalation clauses now, so you might not be the only one.
I actually had an offer where it was multiple offers, and we put an escalation clause, and it didn't actually go up to the full maximum, but it did win the deal. So
there you go.
So another thing you can do is put a little bit more earnest money down than the norm. I feel like a lot of people are doing 1%, maybe 2%. Put a little bit more down, and that makes it a little bit more attractive. You've got more skin in the game. It shows that you're serious, and that can help to get your offer accepted. Also, a shorter close time. So if you can close in 30 days or less, that's always preferred, I would imagine, unless the seller's in some sort of situation where they don't want to move for 45 days, or if they have some extended deadline that they're working with. But again, your agent should be communicating with the listing agent and finding out the specifics of, like, what does the seller need? What are their needs for closing? What's their timeline? Why are they moving? Like, how can we make this as attractive as possible to them?
Right.
And for a shorter close time, the best thing you can do for that is to either pay cash or work with a local lender. One of our recommended local lenders, because we know that they can get the job done in a short amount of time and everybody's happy. And it also will make your offer more attractive. If the listing agent is familiar with who the lender is, and they know it's not going to be a headache and a half to have to deal with them and try to get communication from them when they're not really willing to communicate. Some of the bigger banks don't communicate well, but our local lenders are all really good at communicating with us. So who you are.
And they care. That's the other thing, because people say, well, why a local lender? Well, the local lender is getting their business from us.
Right.
So they care about doing a great job. They care about servicing our clients. They care about getting it closed in a timely manner, making sure there's no problems, making sure they're on top of it. If you're a lender from out of state and this is a one-off deal for you, you don't care so much. And if you work for one of these really big banks, sometimes it's farmed out. So the person that you're speaking to, the order taker, is not the same person who's processing your loan, and they don't stay on top of it because that's not their job.
Right.
And so we really do think local lenders make a big difference. So when we have a listing, we care about that, and so do a lot of other agents. So use a local lender when you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, another thing is, don't ask for closing costs unless you absolutely need them. If you're going to be, a VA buyer and you need closing help because you don't have cash, I mean, it is still possible to get your offer won. But if you don't need it, don't ask for it. Do concessions elsewhere if you can. And the other thing that we spoke about is, making sure that your agent is going to communicate with the listing agent, again, to find out what are the seller's needs. And also communicate kind of your story. You hear a lot of talk of people like writing letters and all that. I'm not one to do stuff like that, but I will call the listing agent and be like, hey, my person is looking for this home because it's in the school district that they want for their children, or it's close to their son and daughter's house where their grandchild is living. So sometimes that little bit of a story is then relayed by the listing agent to their seller, and that can make a big difference. I recently was working with a seller where the story was relayed to me by the buyer's agent, and I relayed it to them, and that made the difference for him. It was a sentimental thing. You know, they're selling a home that's been owned by their family for decades, and he wanted another family to land in the home over maybe somebody who was just going to come in, fix and flip it because it needed some work.
Yeah.
And it was important to them that a family land in there if possible.
Yeah.
He wanted that over, you know, the highest number of dollars in the shortest amount of time that he could get. So, you know, every seller has different needs, and it's important that we're communicating with the other agent on the other side of the transaction to make sure that we know what's going on so that we can present your offer in the best terms as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, we care about you, we care about why you're buying the house, and we do communicate that to another agent. So I think, you know, it's important who you work with, and we would love to work with you, and we will always do our very best. It's a difficult market. You need somebody who's on top of it, who is a full-time professional agent, which we both are,
Yes.
and who is going to fight for you. So definitely reach out to us. Again, it's coastalestateteam@gmail.com. Follow our YouTube because
Yes.
we want you watching. And next week, we're going to do something fun with Vieira. And so we hope you'll tune in for that. And I guess that's all for today.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
All right.
thanks. Bye.
Bye, y'all.